quickly move on to what's happening across global markets as well as geopolitics. The energy giant BP predicts oil and gas will become a dramatically smaller part of the global energy mix by 2050. Meanwhile, zero carbon alternatives like wind and solar energy will continue to increase their penetration. The company said the share of fossil fuels as a primary energy source will fall from 80% in 2019 to between 55 and 20% by 2050. That's a dramatic fall, Ankita.
Right, and moving on, the World Health Organization said that COVID-19 remains a global health emergency as the world enters the fourth year of the pandemic. But the WHO's Director General said he was hopeful that the world will transition out of the emergency phase of the pandemic this year. The WHO's Emergency Committee, says that the pandemic still remains a public health emergency of international concern, the UN agency's highest alert level.
Well, yes, and more than 1,000 flights into and out of the United States have been cancelled due to severe winter storm. About half of these flights were from Southwest Airlines. Low-cost carrier Southwest also faced US government backlash earlier this month for cancelling 16,700 flights over the holidays. The fresh cancellations hit an aviation sector recovering from a nationwide ground stop imposed by the Federal Aviation Administration, which is the FAA, over a computer issue.
And Taliban suicide bomber blew himself up in a mosque packed with worshippers in the high security zone in Pakistan's Peshawar. The attack killed at least 63 people and wounded more than 150 others. Over 300 police officials were present in the area at the time of the blast, and the bomber breached the high security of the mosque inside police lines where 4 layers of security were in place.
Well, and Boeing said it plans to add a fourth 737 MAX production line in the second half of next year as it targets higher output of its best-selling plane. Boeing has been eager to increase production of the 737 MAX, but the company's CEO has flagged supply chain concerns. Meanwhile, the last Boeing 747 that reigned as Queen of the Skies for more than 5 decades will be delivered to Atlas Air today.
And President Biden administration said it will end COVID-19 emergency declarations on 11th of May. This is nearly 3 years after the United States imposed sweeping pandemic measures to curb the spread of the illness. Biden has repeatedly extended the measures which allow millions of Americans to receive free tests, vaccines, and treatments. The White House said the declarations would be extended again until May 11th before being terminated.